Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, you know, when it rains, it never rains forever. The sun's gotta come out sometime. You know what I do? I told her, rain, go away, left my umbrella at home. That's why I had to write the song. Still got my dad and mom, I'm just so thankful and grateful for it all. And you would think my nephew's name was Steph Curry, the way he's shooting that ball. I'm trying to build some more bridges instead of building these walls. I'm learning to lend a helping hand to those who open their palms. If it's bad news, I'm turning it off. We'll never really see an end to this divide if we keep getting outfoxed by those who peddle negativity. It'll take root in your head just like a cavity. You can keep your raggedy perspective to yourself. You're always judging someone else. I'd rather smile because it's better for my health. Forget about your troubles, life is beautiful. And when I die, make sure I'm smiling at my funeral. The sun gon' shine no matter how dark it gets. Don't live your life in regret. Put on a smile and gotta handle the rest. That's a bet, so go ahead. Tell the rain, go away. Yeah, yeah. You can choose to smile today. Tell the rain, go away. That's right. You can choose to smile. Tell the rain, go away. Yeah, yeah. You can choose to smile today. Yeah. Tell the rain, go away. Oh yeah, you can choose. I'm choosing to smile instead of wearing a frown. When life is getting me down, I simply pick up my crown, open my curtains and let in a little sunshine. You gotta know your life is once in a lifetime. And if you're really gonna keep on me mugging when I walk on by, I crack a smile and tilt my head. No, you ain't gotta reply. No, you ain't gotta say hi. See, that's that low level energy. I am on a higher frequency, channeling God's divinity. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Sometimes you gotta eat them pork and beans instead of lobster. You gotta dust it off and say this life just like Sinatra. And if you need someone in your corner, just know I got you. My mantras, be grateful for every day. And when you win and save a little for a rainy day. The sun gon' shine no matter how dark it gets. Don't live your life in regret. Put on a smile and gotta handle the rest. Like I said, so go ahead. Tell the rain, go away. Yeah, yeah. You can choose to smile today. Tell the rain, go away. That's right. You can choose to smile. Tell the rain, go away. Yeah, yeah. You can choose to smile today. Yeah. Tell the rain, go away. You can choose to smile. Smile, 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 smile. You can choose to smile. Smile, 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 smile. You could choose to smile.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? So happy to be back. It's been so long. It's been so long since I did a live. So long since I've been on here in any other time besides, jumping on everybody else's streams. Uncle Tom, also LA Wilkes streams. He's a streaming monster. He's really good at what he does. And Kai's as well. So it's been a while since I've done one for myself. So I'm back. I'm a little rusty. Got my microphone here, and I'm happy. Having 5 children is it's a monster. It's a beast. Having to do all this nonsense. Well, it's not nonsense, but having to take care of 5 children, and you're married, taking care of your wife, and just making sure you're there to be her support is always, it's sobering and it's humbling. And that's why I've been gone, making sure I'm doing my husbandly and fatherly duties. I remember when I first started this as a new YouTuber, I didn't know anything about this space, man. I thought it was magic how people would just get up. I'm like, how are these people getting on these streams, man? How do these people know one another? And then you find that the more you do it, the more people you meet, the more time you dedicate to this, the smoother a stream will go. But yeah, man, as you can see, I'm still a little choppy, and yeah, so that's where we are today, man. And as you can see, the title, man, is just current events, things I find interesting, little interesting tidbits. The Jason Aldean fiasco, also Disney, what's going on with them, what's going on with what's the name of that movie? What is the name of that movie about the child trafficking? It's called The Sound of Freedom, things like that, how they try and shadow ban it, and other things, man, that I find interesting. Let's see who's in the chat. We got Jay Bishop. What's going on? Hey, you're one of my day ones. I'm so happy to have you here. So happy to have you here. Right now, you and I are the onlyest ones here. But that's completely fine, man. I appreciate your support. I usually have my Cash App going across the banner, but it's okay. I am monetized, so if you would like to donate to the channel, just click the link, and you'll be able to super chat, send super stickers, etc., onto the channel, and I would appreciate anything that you can provide, even if it's 75 cents. But I don't think that nomenclature is or that dollar amount is even allowed. So even if you give $2, I would appreciate that. Let's see what Jay has to say. He said, "What's up? Just finished my workout. Sat down. They called my name for my smoothie, and bam, then your notification popped up. Hey, man, I'm glad you are enjoying your smoothie, or rather, I hope you enjoy your smoothie. Also, I'm glad you had a heck of a workout. Hopefully, it was cardio filled, and maybe you did some resistance training. That's always good, too. What else does Jay Bishop have to say? He said, 777 went live last night, and it was weird AF. Yeah, I saw it. I clicked on it and I watched it a little bit. Let's see. Let's continue. I said, hey, to the chat, and immediately Trip was clowning me. Guess I deserved that for saying hey in the chat. Anna porn bombed him. Oh, well, when you avail yourself of the dark side of YouTube, that's what you get. You know, not you, but that's what you get from these people. They all want to be nasty, dirty, filthy. You know, 777, that's what he does. You know, I like him in some regard, man. Sometimes he can be a little over the top, but I saw yesterday's stream. I saw his stream last night, and I shied away from it for good reason. What else? What else does Jay Bishop have to say? You're the man. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Amazing. Well, thank you, Jay Bishop. You know, it's a daunting task sometimes, especially in today's world. Today, being a father is it's a hot commodity. People want fathers, but it's a little bit more difficult because you're fighting against the wiles of the world, man, trying to keep your children sober from all this debauchery they have out here and everything, even in things that they mark TV PG or even a lower rating like TV Y7, like youth under 7 or youth up to the age of 7. There's all types of innuendo and child open pornography kind of esque type stuff. And you're just like, wow, the things that they talk about, the things that they want your child to avail themselves of, it's ridiculous. So I try and keep myself and my children away from that, especially so that they can grow up as children. You know, they have plenty of time to be adults. Childhood lasts that long. You know what I mean? It's very quick, and I'm glad that people like you understand that. You know, Jay Bishop with the $5 super chat. Wow, my first super chat in a while. Thank you, Jay. Says, I have 2 kids. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. Peace and love to you and the fam. Well, thank you, Jay Bishop. Having 2 children is a feat. It's very difficult. And hey, I thank you for sharing that you have 2 children as well. And I know just how fast it is, how fascinating it is to be a parent, and just how fast children grow up and how hard it is to deal with them at all stages, at every stage, to say the least. So yeah. What else? Man, you know, life hasn't been exactly easy for me. I've been going from place to place, job to job, working hard to maintain my quality of life for my family, maintain their quality of life, I should say. And it's a difficulty, man. It's hard to to maintain a household when your means of income is always at risk. So while I do live nicely, it's not all peachy keen and hunky dory all the time. So I'm always looking on the lookout for greater means to supplement whatever it is I have coming in. But another thing about me, I never, ever, ever rely on one stream of income. I always have to have 5. That's the magic number for me. I like to have 5, and each one of them being able to take care of all the bills. So, that's from investments, and that's also, working sometimes 9 to 5s. And I try and shy away from trading time for money, but that's a difficult feat when you've been wired to do that all the time. When you're wired to trade your time for money, it's hard to break that habit. It's hard to break that cycle. But those are the challenges of life. Those are my challenges. What's up, J Dub? Just because, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for getting in the chat. Thank you for showing love. Thank you for being here and watching the show. So let's talk about Jason Aldean for a bit, and his song about small towns. Now, I've heard it, and I personally like country music. I'm not in love with country music. I'm more of a Big and Rich, and also there are a couple names that I don't remember at this point in time. There's a song called Take This Job and Shove It. That's an old song. Some of you might know it. But I like country music. My wife loves it because she grew up with it. Her father would play it in the car with her whenever they would go on road trips or go up to the corner store or whatever. That was their music of choice, that and Babyface. And I believe Jason Aldean hit a chord here in America concerning his song about small towns. Think about it. It's at number 1 now, and it's kind of counterculture now. Unfortunately, it's counterculture because the culture at large now is about Antifa, Black Lives Matter, Black people being oppressed all the time, or others, as I like to call them, homosexuals, transsexuals, and the like, pedophiles, all that ilk are all being placed on pedestals and told that they are the underclass and need to be protected. But at every turn, they are doing the harm. They're trying to infiltrate your houses of prayer. They're trying to infiltrate your schools. You tell them, I want to live and let live, yet they don't want that. They want to force you to capitulate to their whims and their desires and their base desires of being debaucherous. And I believe Jason Aldean speaks to the antithesis of this, antithesis of what I just mentioned. We don't want to be a part of Antifa. We don't want to see our cities burning anymore. We don't want to consistently look back at the summer of love in 2020 and in 20, well, I think it was 2020, not 2019, but around that time frame, and think, is this the future of our country? We're seeing a shift, a quantum shift, if I could be so bold. People not shutting up anymore. They already got us with the CV-19. They already told us that if we don't capitulate there, you'll lose your livelihood, your jobs, your income, your housing. They're already hitting us over the head with illegal immigrants or illegal aliens. I don't like saying migrants or anything like that. The term is illegal aliens. We have people here who should not be here and who did not work to be here. They may have worked to get over that border, but that is an illegal act. Okay? You can't be here legally if you got here illegally. And then we have cities and municipalities giving money giving resources to these people and telling the people who are from those locales that you should be damned because we don't care about you. So again, Jason Aldean's song speaks to that ilk. They're saying, yes, this is what America is. People, a nation of people who pay their taxes at most, at large, I should say, and gives a damn about the person next to them, wants to help their neighbor, but also does not want to be harassed and will protect themselves if they are being harassed or maimed or murdered or accosted or raped or any of those other flashy terms that YouTube doesn't want you to use. Jason Aldean speaks to the American, those Americans like me who have fought and died for the safety and freedoms that we enjoy so readily and so freely. We do. Think about it. You can say whatever you want for the most part until they try and cancel you. But here's the thing about being canceled. I find that you can only be canceled if you avail yourself of the canceling. What do I mean by that? If you care that these people care about what you're saying, then the canceling works. I don't want to agitate the mob. I don't want them to be mad at me. So I will make sure that I don't incite the mob. So I'll change the way I speak, like George Orwell's Politics in the English Language, which is a white paper he wrote. That's in a collection of essays he writes because he was a famous essayist. Before he started writing novels like Animal Farm and 1984, he was a famous and prolific essayist, and he wrote that essay, Politics in the English Language, and they're doublespeak. I do sound a little stoic, J-Dub, and it's the truth. I am a little stoic, especially at this moment in time. But anyway, doublespeak. What politicians avail themselves of, they want you to avail yourself of the same. They want you to talk in platitudes and euphemisms and affirm their nonsense psychobabble and sociopathic babble so that you can make them feel good. And it'll never be enough, because if in the second that you capitulate to what they say, now you're wrong, because you either did something in your past that says you are wrong and you don't truly mean what you say, or in your present you're saying what they want you to say, but you said it wrong. You didn't sound sincere. You used the wrong he, him, her pronouns, or it, z, them, bugs, whatever they want, God, goddess, whatever. They don't want, it continuously shifts, okay, like a spinning top. You can never pinpoint where they land because they're crazy. So you'll always be in opposition. But if you choose to avail yourself, to participate in this, then you will always be at their mercy. And that's what I'm telling people to do. When people say, "Oh, we can't say that word on the boob tube. We can't say certain, different terms. You can't say raped. You can't say any of these. Me personally, if you keep telling me what I can't say, I'm gonna say it. I'm currently reading a book called The Language Instinct. Okay, and it's basically is by Steve. It's by Steven Pinker, and it's about how we developed language, where it comes from in our brains, how you can have a civilization that never came in contact with Francophone languages or Latin languages or anything, but they create their own language. How young children take a pidgin language, pidgin Pideon, pidgin language like Creole, and and then develop it into a Creole. It's an amazing book. I like it. I'm only a third of the way through, but it's a really good read, and I would encourage people to read that book if you have the inclination. But in that, you find that these words and terms aren't created by mistake. It's a complex amalgamation of sounds and gestures and lingual movements. Your tongue, your throat moving up and down, that creates these words, and they have meanings. And what you're telling me now is that I have to change the meaning of words or change what they meant to appease you. Like Flintstones. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're a modest-only family from a town in Bedrock. They're a place right out of history. And then they talk about and have a gay old time. Talking about having a gay old time. Well, what does the word gay mean? Gay means happy. And then they usurp the word and take it to mean homosexual. If I say that I'm having a gay time, traditionally, it just means I'm happy. But again, here they go. Or the fact that they have usurped the rainbow, which is, I can actually sing Jay Bishop. And that right there was me singing, not even trying. Anyway, that's another story. I divest or I digress. My mic is muted, right? No, like they usurped the rainbow. You see, the rainbow was God's promise to his people that he would never destroy the world with flood again. It's going to be fire, which is, I would argue, is worse. But he said, no more flood waters. I promise you this. And that was something that when God makes a promise, he's not going to break it. But here we are. We have deviants and miscreants trying to take a biblical reference and then twist it for the world and make it into a disgusting reference for anal sex, oral sex, and other disgusting acts on the same committed toward the same sex, and it is disgusting. And I'll say it again, man. It's a nasty act. It's a nasty habit. People should know it's nasty. It's unsanitary. Putting your phallus into someone's anus where you excrete waste, breaking the blood vessels back there because it's near a pleasure sense or a sensory bundle that you derive to mean pleasure. Disgusting. And we should describe such a disgusting, evil act in that way. Be as descriptive as possible. So, I digress. With Jason Aldean's song, I like it. I don't particularly think it is the most musically resounding song I've ever heard in my life. But the verbiage is second to none in my experience and in my opinion. Let's see if we can't look up the lyrics for Jason Aldean's song. And you know what? I should have done this before I got on live, but whatever. As we know, you can do whatever you want on these YouTube streets and still be getting paid or still have an audience. So bear with me, guys. Let's see. Try that in a small town. Let's see here. I think I found the lyrics. No, I don't want to read Newsweek. I'm not going to give them my money or my time or my eyeballs to look at their nonsense. Try that in a small. What's going on, man? Getting articles. I don't want articles. Let me get this lyrics. Yeah, here we go. So here are the lyrics. Sucker punch somebody on a sidewalk. Carjack an old lady at a red light. How many people have we seen do that in big cities and in small cities? Yeah, I have. And not in the last 10 years. I'm talking about when I was coming up as a young man, teenaged and before, seeing stuff like that. Let's continue. Pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. Seen that. You think it's cool? Well, act a fool if you like. Now, in that stanza, is he talking about white people or black people? I'd argue he's talking about black people, because all those acts, by and large, you see black people commit. Let's continue. Cuss. Hey, what's up, Lawrence? Nice to see you, brother. Thanks for jumping in and making yourself visible for me to see, man. Family, day ones, man. I appreciate you guys being here and listening to my rant or my monologue. Cuss out a cop, spit at his face, stomp on a flag, and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Yeah, they think. Now, cuss out a cop. That could be black and white people. Spit in his face. That could be black and white people. I've seen them both do it. Stomp on the flag and light it up. Now, how many black people do you see do that? Okay. I haven't seen many in my lifetime stomp on a flag and light it up, but I have seen liberal, leftist, white people do that. So, yeah, you think you're tough. And they do think they're tough when they do this because they expect no opposition. They expect you to capitulate. Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here, we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long. For you to find out, I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Now, I know he keeps saying small town, but he's just talking about a commune. Hold on, let me not say commune because I don't want to be a cult or communist. But a church, a group of people who take care of one another. People think that churchgoers are nonviolent. That's a lie. We're not going to let you come in and accost us. We're not going to let you come in and think you can have your run of the place. You know, we'll invite you in with open arms, forgive you for things you've done. And that's the thing. As a Christian man, for instance, I am going to forgive you. It'll be hard because if I were on my own doing this, I would never forgive you. In fact, I would want to commit an act of revenge against you and probably be more heinous than you were. But absolutely. So, Gary Grant with the $5 super chat. He says, "Big up, brother, at Black Suitified. The song is about criminals, not rich." Absolutely, Gary. My point is that it's not about a specific group. I am factoring in verbiage and parsing out the nuances of what he's saying. The point that I'm making is that you can apply this to every doggone group of people here in America. It isn't just white people. It isn't just black people. It is also Hispanics. It is also Polish. And when I say white, okay, I don't mean white as in a race. Okay, if you heard me, let me put this down. If you've ever heard me on these YouTube streets, you know that I don't believe in the white and black construct. When I say white and black, I'm talking about the haves and have-nots. White people, as in the people who are in power now, as Herodotus put in his writings. When he talked about white people, he was talking about the people who are in power. When we talk about black people, he meant those who did not have, who were impoverished. So when I speak of white and black, that's the sense that I mean. That's in the text that I mean. So continuing. Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road around here. We take care of our own. We cross the line. You cross that line, you won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't try in a small town. It said, full of good old boys, raised upright if you're looking for a fight. Now, when they say good old boys, okay, I know that's a term innocuous with, now I'll use it in the text that America uses it, white people. But good old boys, I've heard that term used with all different races. Just means people who were raised to take care of their own and not just be self-centered. Okay? There's nothing wrong with being self-centered at times, okay? I reject that premise as well. We should, in fact, be self-centered because taking care of self, you're able to take care of others, okay? But you also, in that same breath, should introduce levity and understand that it's not always just about you, okay? Let's see. Try that try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here, we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. Ooh, oh. Try that in a small town. Okay, of course, that was him arpeggiating. But you understand the premise of the song. It isn't racist. It has nothing to do with your grandmother who grew up on the south side of Chicago, who may have experienced police brutality at one point of their lives, which is questionable to me. It's not about mailing, getting, harassed by the police. It's not about Jabari or any of these people, any names I could drum up. It's about Americans trying to grasp a semblance of America as she is, or if you are patriarchal like I am, as he is. America, man, there have been people who fought for this country like me and who have died for this country like many of our relatives. There are people who have committed themselves to service to this country, not just military-wise, but also with their dollars, with their time in civic duty, in police forces, in fire departments, in social positions, the diaspora. It's not just one group, it's everybody. Everybody makes up America. And we have these shills, these money-grubbing shills who know that anarchy pays them, I should say. And as they burn down and destroy your communities, carte blanche, they sit up in their high rises and on television. They're not hard to find. These aren't shadowy people. These are people who you see on a daily basis. The Sunny, whatever, from The View, whatever the heck her name is, from The View, and the Whoopi Goldbergs and the Joy Behars and the my goodness, Donna Lamones and all these people whose names I shouldn't even remember, and the rest of the people whose names I don't remember, taking umbrage with people trying to get together and defend their livelihoods, man. Defend their neighbors, defend their loved ones, defend their communities. How dare they? How dare they tell you how you have to be American? Isn't that funny? I find it comical because all they do is destroy. All they do is advocate for destruction. I heard Whoopi Goldbrick say in her monologue about this song that one thing Jason Aldean didn't think about was while he's talking about this and people taking care of one another, did he consider that Black Lives Matter and Antifa were trying to do the very same thing? Now, look, I may have been born at night, but I wasn't born last night. And the imagery he showed was of people of that ilk who committed destructive acts against people's businesses and public servants, ruining people's lives, their livelihoods, taking from their mouths through violence and anarchy, stopping them from going to work, pulling people out of vehicles and curb stomping them and daring them to do anything against it, to defend themselves. And then if they did do something to defend themselves against those mobs, you didn't have the luxury of the law being on your side, at least not initially. Your lives would be derailed. You would be taken advantage of by the system. They take your money. You spend your money trying to hire lawyers to take care of yourself. And the last time I checked, guys, a lawyer's retaining fee is exorbitantly costly, is exorbitantly expensive. And not only that, their fees after that just get more and more expensive. The more time they spend on trying to keep your behind out of prison for something you didn't do, for just defending yourself against people who would exploit the law. I'll never forget what these people did to my country, to the country that I fought for, to the country I grew up in, and to the country I love. I love this country, man. Who wouldn't? You have people giving their scrotums to get here, okay? Braving all types of tumultuous waters, braving deserts to get here. This place can't be so bad. But that's what happens when you let the left control the narrative. That's what happens when you allow the left to tell you that your life is abysmal and you should be trying to leave, or at the very least cause as much destruction as you possibly can to get the politicians to pay attention. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But only in a first world country do you have the time, resources, and means to do this. What's the median household income? What the median household income now is like 65,000 a year. Okay. For a family of 4 or something, 3.1, 3.2 people, whatever, and a dog. But even below that median, and you made $30,000, you are still squarely in a world middle class. You could take that same $30,000 that you make and move to places like Phuket, Thailand, or Pattaya, or Bangkok, or anywhere in Malaysia, or any places like that, and live like a king. I'm just trying to put it in perspective for you all, to put it in perspective for everybody, that living here in America isn't so bad. It isn't so abysmal, because it truly isn't. But they're trying to create that abysmal reality. They're trying to force you to create that mentally first, and then project it onto the world. They want the anarchy. They want there to be only one ruling class. They want to be oligarchs or autocrats. It's amazing to see. I could go on. I could go on and on. But Jason Aldean, good on you for writing this song. Great song. There's no wonder it's at number one. When you allow people to vote for with their dollars, the truth always comes out. Jay Bishop, you're in here keeping this chat fire. So let me read what you wrote. Jay Bishop, she knows she's clueless on how regular people live. She wants to be seen as one of us, but she's been sheltered and unfathomably rich for so long. I guess you're talking about Whoopi Goldberg. She has no clue that she'll never be one of us. And you're absolutely right, Jay Bishop. She'll never be. She has been unfathomably rich for at least 30 years now. I remember, this is neither here or there, but I remember one show I was watching that was talking about jewels, and she had some sort of jewel that cost like $20 million. And it was so expensive. She keeps it. She allows the museum to have it. She, kind of donate, and then she's allowed to wear it whenever she wants. And it was like a huge ruby and diamond, and it was like a brooch or something. That's how much money she had to blow. And this is Whoopi Goldberg now. Okay? Who took that moniker because she wanted to be more like the Jews. She thought that would akin her to them and create more riches for her. And I guess that was a calculated risk, and it paid off. Let's see. What else did you say, Jay Bishop? You said talking heads like Whoopi, she's not part of any community. She claims to be group hugged in. She's part of a club that not you, me, Lawrence, J-Dub, or Gary is allowed in. And you're absolutely right, Jay Bishop. We are not allowed in that club. We'll never be allowed in that club. And the only way we'd be allowed in that club is if we were willing to do some debaucherous things. Like what's coming out about Oprah Winfrey, and because of movies like Sound of Freedom. Now let's talk about Sound of Freedom. I haven't seen the movie yet. I plan on seeing it with my wife. But I've read the articles. I've seen the news epithets. I've seen people I've seen news anchors from the Communist News Network and MSNBC try and lambast this movie. And it's interesting how an indie movie that tried to be quailed by a monolithic corporation like Disney is now a $100 million movie and number one in the box office for 4 or 5 weeks running. Because people are not stupid. We know what's going on. Children missing. People being taken advantage of. People going silent and disappearing off the face of the planet in America and abroad. It's a problem. And we all know it is. But they want you to not care about that. They want you to see the retcon Marvel movies. That they change every character into a woman for whatever reason. They want you to see these terrible movies like the Barbie movie, an ode to feminism. An ode to feminism. My daughter, one of my younger daughters wanted to see that movie because it's that Barbie movie. In their Barbie font, whatever font that is, and all pink and everything, in the silhouette of Barbie. And I told her no immediately because I knew it was a bait and switch immediately. Everybody, come on, man. You always know, especially now. But Sound of Freedom, Disney tried to crush it. What's up, Willie D? Good to see you. They tried to kill it. Disney. Why? You know why. We all know why, right? We all know why Disney tried to kill it. Because the people who run this world, the people who run Hollywood, don't want their secrets out. They like dealing with babies. They like taking their adrenochrome. Okay. They like eating children. Physically eating children. They like taking advantage of the weak. They like being that boogeyman that goes bump in the night. But the boogeyman's only the boogeyman if you can't see him. You shine a light on the boogeyman, you can kill it. Disney. Supposed to be a dreamland for children and a dreamland for adults who want to reminisce on their childhood. And here we are, consistently bombarded by monolithic companies like Disney with smut. And then we have a movie that's about something you can sink your teeth into. We're snubbed. They snub it. No, you can't see that. And then they engage their smear machine to write epithets of slander and wrong think against you. Oh, you shouldn't watch that. That's terrible. That's a QAnon movie. QAnons like that. That's QAnon manifesto, and they're trying to portray it as real. As I sit back with my $2 million a year to $20 million a year salary, can't give that up. Gotta have that. And you know what, guys? It's not even the money with these guys. They don't care about that. What they care about is the access. Listen to me. Yes, Jay Bishop, I'm going to drop the link for the panel. Give me 1 second. Yes, I'm about to do it right now. Let me just finish this one statement. They want the access. They want to go to the parties. They want to see the people. They want to hobnob. They want to drink wine with these people. They want to be a part of the in crowd. They want to be a part of the secret meetings and things like that because they want to belong. That's why they do this. Jay Bishop, you're absolutely right. Let's get some of you guys in on this because we got a couple more topics to talk about. But let's get you guys in this. I'm about to drop the link. You guys deserve it. I haven't seen you in a while, and I'm looking forward to hearing some of your thoughts on this. And Jay Bishop, there's no time like the present time to call in and talk to your boy Black Suitify. And I'm glad that I can make this your first opportunity to call in and talk to somebody live and direct on these YouTube streets. So, hey guys, if you have the inclination, call in. But yeah, guys, it's about the access. It isn't about the money only. The money, I'd say, is about 25% of it once you've already experienced that amount. Once you've experienced being that rich, it ain't about the money anymore. The Nancy Pelosi's of the world, the Chuck Schumers of the world, the Maxine Waters of the world, the Lindsey Grahams, who's the Senate minority leader, the Mitch McConnells, or Bitch McConnells, as I like to call them. These guys live to live the high elite life. Okay? They don't give a damn about the money anymore. They're inculcated in society. They've married well. They have people that can be that they can always fall back on. Bob, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. Now let me let's bring you up here, Jay Bishop. Here we go. Jay, what's up?
Hey, is my mic working?
It's working just fine. First of all, thank you for calling in, and thank you for that $5 super chat. I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem, Blacks. I'm a big fan.
I appreciate you, man. But what do you think about anything that I talked about just a moment ago? You know, from the QAnon trope to Whoopi Goldberg and a lot.
It was maybe a couple years ago that I started really getting. I even knew what QAnon even was.
Yeah.
And it was, I would say maybe back in 2019, there used to be this guy on YouTube. I think they banned his channel, took him down, and he was admittedly a hotep, but but he was exposing but he was exposing a lot. I think, what did he call himself now? I can't remember.
Was it
kid? Oh, Pharaoh something. It was like
Pharaoh. Young Pharaoh?
What was that? Young Pharaoh. Remember that cat? Yeah, that's so Young Pharaoh. Did he get kicked off?
He went
a little bit crazy. Yeah, you can't see me, but I'm doing the same thing. But I remember the stuff he was talking about Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah, Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh my God! Yes, yes. Some of the stuff that he was tying together with, even down to the clothing that she was wearing, with the screams on the side and the blood. And there was some images that she had, paintings hanging in her home that were, I mean, some grotesque, very grotesque. And they shut that down immediately. So, and he even had some footage that, I don't know where he got this stuff, but it looked like it was Hillary Clinton in a hotel room with what you could hear somebody, and it did sound like a young girl screaming. Never heard anything. And in fact, I'm shaking right now just thinking about it. Nightmare fuel. But that guy disappeared off of YouTube. Like you said, he was crazy.
You see, I heard about the Hillary Clinton and her aide situation. Her and her aide, her lesbian aide. What's that lady's name? She's
man, I couldn't recall.
She's an Indian lady.
I can see her.
Yeah.
I can see it. Not Ilhan. No, not Ilhan. No. Not Ilhan. Kumar.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Osama bin Laden. No, she. They said that they were in there peeling the skin off of a child.
Yes, sir. Yes. I was like, I couldn't really stomach a lot of it. I was just like, this is insane. But truth is stranger than fiction, as they say. You know, truth is stranger than fiction.
Yes, truth is definitely stranger than fiction, and it's often the simple answer. Is often the simple answer that is the truest.
Absolutely, yeah. And people are wrapping their heads around this. You know, the normal folk like my mom. You know, yes. I had showed her. She's really out of the loop. I mean, she don't know anything that's going on. She's never been into politics. She's a typical granny. Yeah. But I had her watch What Is a Woman? And she was like, what is this, a joke? You know, she couldn't believe that was a real thing.
But see, people like your mom and my mom will always vote in their fields because that's what they've been trained to do. So all that nonsense we can see, they don't really watch it, and so they don't know. But they do see them give a prolific speech that sounds good, and so they're like, okay, I'll vote for Joe Biden. Oh yeah, I'll vote for Chicago drama. Sure. I'll vote for these people because they sound good, but I don't know anything about their politics. But they won't vote for a Donald Trump because he says he says the truth, but then he says it in a way that it makes them feel like he's accosting them. That's what my mother says
with feel. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like he's accosting me, like he's going to start World War III. I'm like, no. Yeah. The one you voted in is trying to start World War III. Yeah.
Right. Your mother votes. Your mom votes.
Yeah. She votes. Now it's crazy. I don't think she voted for Biden. I don't think she voted for anyone this last term. But the thing is, it's hard to believe sometimes for me that this is the woman that raised me, because we were all taught. You know, I have 7 brothers and sisters. We were all taught to think outside of the box, to not pledge allegiance to a side because of history, but to always understand the nuance. Read what they write. Listen to what they say. You know, if they're preaching anarchy, or if they're preaching division or derision, if they're trying to destroy this country, then you know who not to vote for, and and then always participate in your local elections. So I don't know.
And Absolutely. I think that's why, back to, with Sound of Freedom and things like, and What is a Woman? That's why it's important to have these things go mainstream or get
Yeah.
out there to where people like your mother, my mother, or, a lot of America that doesn't vote, but that needs to.
Yes.
They did the rock the vote thing to get 18-year-olds to come out and vote. I mean, with all due respect, 18-year-olds, a lot of you are dumb as you know what.
That was
We
a
don't
box
really
of
need a lot of. It was, yeah. So, I'd rather these things get out so that your regular run of the mill folks that don't pay attention are seeing this and understanding that this is based on a true story. This is a documentary or what have you, so that they can see what's really going on, and their grandchildren and their children have to deal with their adult children, and that is. So.
And you are spot on with that, Jay.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. What's amazing is look at all these nefarious actors who are trying to quell the information from going out. A movie like Sound of Freedom, for it to make it the way it's been making it, lets you know resoundingly that this country is not lost yet. Now the people who are the loudest are the minority. They are the minority.
There you go.
And the people who are paying with their dollars, with their dividends, with their ducats, are showing their vote like that and giving rise to an opposition. But it's amazing because you still have that certain percentage who just will not believe that these people are trying to destroy them. It's insane.
I know. And they'll believe crazier things, but they won't believe, like you said, the simple answer is often the right answer. They'll believe some crazy things, but they won't believe what's right in their face.
Yes, and they will not believe what's right in their face. I'm like, don't you understand that these people are hypocrites? Like John Kerry, right? I can't stand John Kerry. Didn't like him when he was running for president. Didn't like him, and I'm still okay. John Kerry, before Congress, lied through his lying, Botoxed, skin-grafted mouth. Okay? About never owning a private jet. He said he used the words never and said he never owned, his family never owned a private jet. Then when they showed the evidence, he says, I personally have never owned a private jet. My wife is going, oh, look at this guy, man. Look at this guy. He got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. And then,
gosh, I don't think I saw that.
Look it up. It just happened.
Okay.
He got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. And then when, instead of saying, you know what, you're absolutely right, I did. They double, triple, quadruple, quintuple, sextuple, down on it all, on all the lies. And this guy, listen, why this is relevant is he is supposed to be the climate czar, the czar for dealing with climate change and all this. Yet he gallivants putting in several loads of carbon from his private jets, more than you or I combined could put in a lifetime. Do you understand? Lies coming from these people. And it isn't just the left. It's all of them. All of them, the whole autocratic government we have here.
Bureaucrats.
These autocrats. They get in and they, then instead we have a swamp of freaking people who have worked, the undergirding of these autocrats, the ones who have worked in these positions for 20, 30, 40 years, like the Anthony Fauci's, the GS14s and higher, who have kept the country running, who are in forever positions, who, when the president comes in, he doesn't fire them all. He keeps them in there, and fires maybe the very top to put their person in. But all the people, the underbosses remain because they have intimate and integral knowledge of all these programs that they got going on, and they can't just fire them. They found, yeah.
Is that because the people that are doing the checks are also doing the balances? The three branches of the government are all the same people, so they're checking they're checking their own work, so to speak.
Yes, and the scary part is they've been in. Right? It is unbelievable, and the scary thing is that they've been there forever, for decades.
Yeah, forever, their whole life,
their entire life. The 60-year-olds have been there since they were in their late 20s. They're in there, and that's my problem. You can't just fire them, because if you fire them, you've lost all this information, and they're not training the person who's coming up under them to know this stuff. A lot of the times, a group of them are holding the American people hostage, and it's insane.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think a lot of them are occultists, if not, if not the entire swarm of them. They're occultists.
Well, you have the things like the Court of Owls, which is in not Court of Owls, the oh my goodness, something Grove. I can't remember what it's called.
I can't either now. I can see the picture in my head too.
They pray to an effigy of a giant owl, and they burn an effigy of a human being, filled with all of their woes for the year, so that they can start anew and talk about all their issues. Yeah, the Bohemian Grove. Thank you, Universal Jones. The Bohemian.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank God. I couldn't remember for the life of me, but the Bohemian Grove. And that's, of course, not leftists, though that's the right. That is all of your Republican Party members and pundits. What's up, Universal Jones? Salute to you too, brother. Oh, by the way, guys, remember, you can donate to the channel via Cash App. That's $BlackSuitify, Cash App, $BlackSuitify. I don't have the banner up. I got to make another banner. Also, you can donate to the channel via Super Chat or Super Sticker. The link is in the bottom right-hand corner usually. Please donate what you can. $2 will be fine to me. Anything you can to get this thing going and moving. But yes, Bohemian Grove, there's a lot of information out there about it. It just takes a Google search. And people will not believe that things like this exist.
Yeah, even with the obelisks and in DC, that's a ritual that they perform every time they put in a new president. They essentially believe in the pagan, or rather be the Egyptian or the Canaanite tradition of rising the spirit of Osiris, and they believe that he will become a god, he will ascend. So they're going to do this ritual every single time because they believe that they will get their Osiris, so to speak. Yeah, and that's what they're looking for. Yeah,
AKA
that's what they're looking for.
Freemasonry. Yes, absolutely.
They're looking for their god. Yeah, to bring him back.
They're looking for him to come back. But you bring up an interesting bit of information, because it's the same with leftists. Uncle Tom, there he is. What's up, brother?
Oh, hey, Uncle Tom.
Hold on, I can't hear.
No worries. But it's the same. It's the same with leftism. Third positionists, aka the Third Reich.
It's a religion.
AKA
it's a religion.
It's a religion. But it's so funny. They talk about it. When you're talking about doublespeak, I talked about doublespeak earlier, and I talked about how the left avails themselves of things like that. Stalinisms, Mussolini and his oh my goodness, what was Mussolini? He was he wasn't a communist. He was I can't, whatever. It was akin to communism and all these things. These people are the priests. They're the priesthood. They're the priests of the religion. So at the very top, you have the priests, and they know everything. They'll give you information. Yes. What they're trying to do is bring back Eden. They believe that only the destruction of the world will allow them to have the power to do this. So they sacrifice all of this, unbeknownst to us.
Yes.
And then now they can be gods in Eden, the way we were supposed to be. Fascism. Thank you, Beastly. Fascists. Now they can be the gods that they were born to be. So that's the goal of it all. They're trying to get back to Eden. They're trying to become gods. Remember, quote, man is God, unquote. This is what they do, man. This is what they do. And we're all we're not all puppets, but we're all unfortunately forced in one way or another to participate in this nonsense. And it's insane.
And what better way to serve their master than to sacrifice the children, the blood of children, that is the top tier of how to please their father, the one they serve.
Yes, that is top tier to sacrifice.
Yes, top tier. Absolutely.
Even I could go on and on about this, but let's get into Disney real quick. So Disney, if you didn't know, is I dropped the link again for anybody else who wants to come up. Disney, if you didn't know, is on their way to selling about 2/3 of the company. Their ancillary products, they say, their satellite products like ABC, FX, not Hulu, but also Disney Plus, all these different things. They don't want to sell ESPN. They don't want to sell Hulu. They don't want to sell, I don't believe they want to sell Marvel, and they don't want to sell Lucasfilm. But all the other ones we all know and hate are they trying to sell. And what does that mean? What does that mean for people, hundreds of thousands of people that they employ? It means that they're about to be out of jobs. But of course, they're not going to say this. They're going to say, oh, yeah, man, don't worry about it. This is normal, guys, in their meetings. They're all hands meetings. Everybody's having questions, and they pretend like they care. They field your questions as they mute your microphone, and you can only send emoji signs in the Zoom call or Teams call. They don't care about you. You're about to get fired. So as they're trying to destroy a household brand, Bob Iger, the arbiter of all this, is the architect of this deacquisition, I should say, because he's trying to fix the stock prices. He wants to show that he wants to show the stock owners that and the share owners that this is a lean company and they're doing what's necessary to move forward. So they think that that's going to help the stock price and to upgrade the stock again. And then they also are trying to fix what they destroyed. Look at how they created this monster. All the woke.
It goes back. It goes back into, I think I commented it in the chat, is they want to watch it burn, but they don't have any clue what they want to build in its place. There
you go. They want to watch it burn, but they don't have any clue as to what they need to build in its place. Absolutely. They are trying to do damage control, but it's not real. It's not real because if they wanted to do damage control, they wouldn't stop. They would stop putting out this piss poor product that they've been putting out. They stop making these terrible movies that everybody keeps telling them they don't want to see with their dollars. Not only vocally, not only with their fingers as they type in on Rotten Tomatoes and in other forums that they don't want to see this smut, but with their dollars, they're not going to the box office. But they don't care. They're going to double, triple, and whatever down on their nonsense. and they keep doing it with their newest iteration of garbage called the Marvels. Marvel family. Nobody's gonna go see that. Nobody is seeing that. Secret Wars with Samuel L. Jackson. Look, it's so funny. Look, and it's so funny, Jay. They have all-star casts in some of these movies, and all-star casts in some of these made-for-TV movies, and nobody cares.
No.
When we were growing up, if a movie had Sylvester Stallone in it, Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, anybody we knew, even who was another guy I can't think of right now. Any big name we knew, Michael Keaton, you were going to go see that movie because the power of star power, right? You're like, man, this guy, he can act, she can act. Michelle Pfeiffer.
They're becoming obsolete, and they know it.
Yeah, nobody cares anymore.
No, not at all.
Beastly, you are spot on. I was just about to mention Indy 5. Indy 5 and Indiana Jones 5.
Okay.
The newest iteration of Indiana Jones was a dumpster fire. Okay. Yes, Jean-Claude Van Damme as well. Exactly. If you knew these guys are going to be in there, you're like, man, I'm going to go see this movie. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be action-packed. Storyline is going to be awesome. And even if the storyline is crap, it's going to be a great action flick. What's up, Corn Pops? Haven't seen you in a while, brother. Come on up if you have the inclination. Indy 5, they have castrated Harrison Ford. They have castrated this man. And
ultimately, what do you think it is, Blacks? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No. What do I think it is? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, like say, they want to burn it down with no inclination of what they want to build in its place. I mean, is this like this self-flagellation, this self-destructive behavior? What do you think the ultimate goal is?
The ultimate goal is to destroy.
What do they gain? Because they got to gain something out of this. They got to get something out of it.
The goal,
if not monetarily, what is it?
The goal here is to create their utopian paradise. Remember, I just said it. They want to get to Eden. At that level, you're playing with billionaires and trillionaires. They want to get to Eden, and you are in the way, and you be damned. They will destroy everything you hold dear.
Disney is buying thousands of acres of farmland and growing nothing on it.
Yes, they'll destroy it all. Anything you associated with Americana, they are apt to destroy. They want to twist it, turn it into anarchy. They want to kill it. That's the goal, and they are killing it.
And they're getting off on this.
They are. Listen, if my daughter, for instance, we went to Disney World a couple years ago. My daughter dressed up as Snow White. Whenever we go and we buy the costumes, like we don't go to Party City or anything. We order the costumes, okay? And the shoes and everything. My daughter at the time was 12. All the little girls who were there and saw her really thought she was Snow White because they were like, oh my goodness, she has this awesome costume. It was better than the one that the actual Snow White had. And people were trying to stand in to take pictures with her. So in a case like that, I don't mind. People grew up with things. I wanted to be Peter Pan. You know what I mean? But do I know that in the movie I want to see a white Peter Pan? Yes, I do. I want to see Peter Pan be white. I want to see Snow White be white. I want to see the Little Mermaid be white. What I saw growing up and what endeared me to it. I don't need you to coddle me and say, you know what, Blacks, to make you feel better, which I never asked for. I'm gonna turn Snow White Latina, and then I'm gonna turn Ariel into a black dreadhead because that's what you really want. Isn't that what you want? I'm like, no, that's not what I want. No. Yeah, that's what. I know, really, seriously, that's not what I want. No, you're right. You don't know what you want. Don't worry. Let me worry about that. And then they create big, massive flops. This is what they did with Indiana Jones. They hired a terrible actress who lambasted Indiana Jones the entire movie, talking about how terrible he was, how she could do it better.
Mm.
A terrible storyline. Indiana Jones is like 102 years old now. He can't do any of the action scenes. They should have let it die with a laugh. Okay, but they had.
Yes.
But Kennedy.
Yeah, that's like Floyd Mayweather coming back out and coming out of retirement, losing a fight. Why, dude? Just let it rest. It was good. You were good.
Be the greatest ever and live your life.
There you go. Thank you.
My God. Live your life, in perpetuity. Let that live in perpetuity. And then when somebody else comes up, we can always make the argument. Kind of like with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, greatest ever, greatest of all time. We can argue about LeBron and all that, but we all know when we start stacking up everything against LeBron, we know that Michael Jordan beats him hands down all the time. But the fun of it is to have that argument. I don't need Michael Jordan coming out of retirement to play a guy who's 20 years his junior and be embarrassed on the basketball court. And then just to hear people, I told you. What do you mean you told me? I'm like, Michael Jordan's 60. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the point. They keep doing this, bringing these guys back into these iconic roles, and then wondering why we don't want to see it. We don't want to see.
They're fresh out of ideas. They don't have any fresh ideas.
But see, Jay, they do, because there are people like me and you out there. But the problem is they won't hire us. Anybody who was there who had good ideas, they summarily fired. And that goes on, or they buy them out and sequester the information. And that's what goes on in all companies. That's what happens. And so we're left with garbage on a stick. Barbecue, good. Don't you want barbecue garbage on a stick? We all do, right?
Man, yeah, I guess so.
It's nonsensical, man. And this is what we're doing. So Disney is committing seppuku, traditional Japanese traditional suicide by a samurai. This is what they're doing, and they're doing it in a magnificent way, just letting everybody see them crash and burn. Very public, and we don't have any means to stop it. They closed Disney stores. So if you couldn't go to Disney World, you could at least go to the Disney store and have a glimpse of what Disney World is like. They closed all those down because they said they were trying to become more lean and it wasn't making them any money. So they're going to put it all online. And they blamed all that on Bob Chapek. But Bob Chapek was following the marching orders of Bob Iger. So don't get me wrong. Bob Chapek is a doggone cow's ass too. But Bob Iger is the true architect of all this anarchy and deplorableness. So Disney is on its way out. They're selling their properties. I believe there's nothing that they won't do. They're crashing and burning, man. Crashing and burning. And it's too expensive now. People can't afford to go there. Who can afford the Disney World, man? My God.
No, I know I can't.
Not anymore, right?
My kids have never been. I mean, yeah, I've never. I've got a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old. I've never been able to take them.
Really? See, so it had become like a tradition for me and my family. I never went growing up. I never had gone to Disney World. My first time going to Disney World, I was like 27. First time going to Disney World. I had been to Disneyland.
Wow. Disneyland, yeah.
When I was 18, but it was part of a program in California. I was at University of Southern Cal, and they had tickets, and we all went to Disneyland. And Disney World by far trumps Disneyland in terms of its size and the amenities.
I wouldn't know.
But
I never, yeah.
It's exorbitantly priced, man. Get ready to spend $10,000 if you're trying to stay on the resort and everything. It's insane.
Well, guess they're going to Knott's Berry Farm then.
Knott's Berry Farm is awesome. I love Knott's Berry Farm.
I went years ago.
Hey, J Dub, you're right. 3,000. You have to have at least $3,000 to have a good time in the world, and he is not freaking lying. To go, man. Dude, and then they created this Disney Genie Plus lane, whatever thing where you got to pay to get around the line, and it's insane, dude. It's not worth it the way it was. You know, if you have young children, maybe, but if you have older children, Universal is better. Universal is great too. Universal is an awesome place to go, but Disney World has lost its luster. And what about this girl? What's her name? What's her name? The one who pretended like she was abducted.
That's Carly Russell or Carlita Russell.
Carly, I think it was Carly.
Carly, yeah.
Now, now let me ask you a question. What do you think happened? Okay. What do you think happened in that scenario? Give me your unfiltered opinion in this situation.
Well, with the bullet points, what we know about her is as much as they'll let us know. I mean, we've got what we have is a rich girl. I mean, so we can't say that she was driven necessarily by desperation for money, but I definitely think it was attention. I think it was for a man.
Can't say that because obviously you're richer than her. You're white, right?
Oh no, right? Not at all. No, I wish I had what Carly had. Her mother, her father. She was afforded the liberty of staying at home and paying little to no significant bills. He was able to attend college. None of those things I was ever afforded. Nobody in my family has been to or graduated college. We're all blue collar trades and in the service industry.
There you go.
I can't relate to Carly Russell on any of that, but I think it looks to be that she was really involved in her social media.
Yes.
So maybe she was trying to find an out with that, and I do think that her dropping out of school was leading her to maybe thinking of other paths, and she was being disillusioned with the whole, fangirl or, being an Instagram or a social media celebrity. I think that might have something to do with it. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what it was for. Ultimately, we still don't know the motive. We don't know why she wanted to go to Tennessee. We still don't know that.
Right.
They never really did. They didn't say yet. The purple suit guy, he did say, we're going to find out, and you guys will know. I mean, he made that pretty clear.
He sure did.
In the press brief, yeah, he did say that. So we'll find out sooner or later what the motive was. But I don't know. She's not. I don't think she's going to do any time at all. I don't think she's going to get charged.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't see that. I don't know. But
I can't see her getting charged either. I believe that she'll get a slap on the wrist in some shape or form. But I do know that she's a liar of elephantine proportions.
Oh yeah.
And her family have been roped or rope-a-doped into this.
Did you see the dad, how he sat there with this grit, this look on his face, just like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm sitting here listening to the father. Man, I could tell.
They rope-a-doped him into participating into this nonsense. And we are here privy to it all. It's insane. This lady lied through her teeth.
She grew up with the princess syndrome, was coddled, and I get that vibe from her.
she did grow up with the princess syndrome. You know, they told her. Excuse me. Excuse me. There were some leaked documents, according to some lady. I don't even know this lady's name, but she was saying that there were people who were losing jobs over this because they were leaking information about this from the police department, talking about how they found when they were doing the cell phone history lookup, they had her having a conversation with her ex-boyfriend, or her boyfriend, and the fact that he was cheating on her with a stripper, and then her threatening the stripper, and then her blocking her boyfriend on social media, and then during the 2 days of her being gone, they had her unblocking him. So obviously she had access to her social media.
We can't put it past women to do some insane, incredible things in order to when a woman scorned, forget it. And especially one with the princess syndrome, forget about it. They will go to some extreme.
They will go through great lengths
to humiliate the other person or get back at him. And she just never thought it would blow up this big. That's really what it was.
Yeah, she didn't think it would blow up this big. And here we are. Right. You know, that quote, black girl magic they talk about. And here we are, you know, and people are upset talking about, black girls never get cared about this and the other. I'm like, and now you're getting them a limelight that she wanted.
Yeah.
And she ruined, right?
Absolutely.
The very thing you said you didn't get. So here, the lady's a liar. I hope she gets some sort of punishment for this.
I do too. But I doubt it will be anything severe, like you said.
Oh yeah, well, but she wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars in resources. You know,
yes, absolutely.
Helicopters. You know how much it costs to gas up a helicopter. You know, that's like $50,000 a trip. What else? Police officers' salaries, feds were brought into this. All types of stuff, man. And her only explanation for it was, there was an orange hair man with a bald spot who
Carrot Top.
who grabbed me.
Carrot Top.
Carrot Top, the comedian Carrot Top, right? And then the girl, she was feeding me cheese crackers, and there was a baby in the background. I could hear it, and then I got it, and they're like, "How'd you get away?" Well, they were gone, and my bindings were loose, and so I ran until I got home.
you know what's crazy? And not that it matters now because we know it, everything's blown out of the water except for the motive. We still don't have that. But I don't know if a lot of people caught this, but remember when she had said in the original testimony, or her original statement in the hospital, when she said she had not seen, there was a woman, she could hear the voice from the truck, but she couldn't see her. But then she says that she was there touching her hair. So what is it, Carly? Did you see her or did you not? Because you did, obviously. You said she was playing with your hair.
Yep, she said she was playing with her hair.
Yeah, so she did see a woman, but she's claimed that she didn't see a woman. See, it's just, I don't know.
In other words, she didn't see anybody. It was a lie, and nobody freaking believes her. And she was supposedly blindfolded and all types of other nonsensical nonsense.
You want to know the craziest part is that toxicology will come back clean. That's the scary part. She did this shit sober. I'm sorry, crap sober.
No, it's okay. And she did do this shit sober. Absolutely, she did.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
You know, people are saying she's mentally ill. I'm like, not everything has to do with a mental illness.
Right, you're crazy, but you're not insane.
Exactly. She decided to do this to get back at whoever. Right. I believe the boyfriend, man. I really believe, like I said, the simple explanation is the answer. Simplicity.
Yeah, absolutely. Simplicity. There you go. Very simple. God. Why did she want to go to Tennessee, though? I don't know. That Tennessee thing, we don't know.
Maybe
who cares at this point?
Especially what she looked up. Oh, what's up, OG Too Dirty? What's going on, man? Glad to see you here, man. Hey, what do you think? What do you think about Jason Aldean's song?
You talking to me?
Uh-huh.
Like you said, not a very good lyric. I mean, song wise, not a very good song. Nothing to write home about. But I mean, like I think I said it in the comments. I'm like, no, those weren't the rest. Those were promises.
Yeah.
That's he's only echoing what Middle America and most of America has been. We've all kind of the unspoken truth. We all know that. I'm from a small town in Louisiana. It's not so small now, but I mean, yeah, that's pretty much how it is. You don't F around.
Yeah.
We don't really care. We don't care what ethnicity you are. We don't care. If you're doing anything that looks stupid, you're going to find out.
And that's
all it is. Mm-hmm.
And that is the doggone truth. That is
so that's what I think about the song. He was saying the quiet part out loud, quiet part meaning the majority of America. We all know this. Most of us are from smaller towns. And it was the city people. It was just the people in the big cities that were, having fake outrage about it. Because truthfully, there have been songs like that out for a long time. I mean, Hank Williams Jr. had Country Folk Can Survive. And that he talked about, you only get mugged if you go downtown. And stuff like that. Yeah, so I mean, it's not nothing new. We've all known, but it's fake outrage. It's virtue signaling. We all know that's what it is. Simple answer, like you said.
Yeah, it's a simple answer. People are
on complicated issues.
Yes.
Simple answers on complicated issues.
Exactly, and people are blowing it out of proportion because they want their 15 seconds of fame. All the people.
Yeah.
I remember one of the girls who said something about this was this big fat lady talking about how she just couldn't deal with it. I'm like, what you should not been able to do was eat that last Twinkie you ate. I'm like, my God, man, stay in shape, do something, go to the gym, walk a mile or two or something, but stop trying to commit yourself to fake outrage that has nothing to do with it, man. Oh, sundown towns. Like, what? How is this an ode to sundown towns?
I know. Oh no. Matt Walsh had a good breakdown of it. He was talking about, he goes, oh no, a courthouse. Something bad happened there. Yeah. we kind of surmise that. A lot of bad stuff happened there.
Oh my goodness. It's every instance.
Man, oh man.
In every instance of some sort of racial bias in this.
Well, that's all you're ever allowed to say about it. That's all you're allowed to say is it was bad. Period. Okay. You can't say anything else. Yeah.
Nope, you can't say anything. It can't be nuanced. There's a book I read called the Holocaust Industry. Well, that I'm reading called the Holocaust Industry, and it's about what is this dude's name? His name.
A book?
It's a book. Norman X. Finkelstein. This guy is and he talks about how the narrative surrounding the Holocaust isn't exactly how they tell it. And he gives, of course, historical value and historical reference to his but of course he is he's excommunicado. He can't, he's not considered a Jew anymore, of course, but ethnically speaking, that's what he is. So, but of course you can't say that against them or about them.
Yeah, he's not allowed. Yeah, all he's allowed to say is it was bad.
Yeah, and that's all.
It was bad. Yeah.
That's all any of us are, quote, allowed to say, unquote. Same thing about slavery.
Right.
So he wrote that book is a good read. I would suggest people read it. It's called The Holocaust Industry. Then also a book, I'll Burn That Bridge When I Get There. And it's about heretical thoughts on identity politics, cancel culture, and academic freedom. So basically it's talking about how you can't say what you want to say anymore in academia. You can't talk about anything in the political sphere. You can't do anything except, quote, capitulate to them. And that is the truth, the long and short of it. It's the truth. We can't. Yeah,
winning a war without lifting a sword.
Exactly. We're not allowed to like I said, man, cancel culture really works on those who avail themselves of the cancel culture. If you allow
absolutely, you have to accept it and play the game.
You have to accept it and play that game. And since I don't play games, it doesn't mean a damn thing to me. Cancel me all day, man.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
Banks turning off your saying, "Oh, we're not gonna bank with you, allow you to bank with us anymore." I'm like, so what? Okay, I'll go to another bank. I'm like, me banking with you only gives you money. It doesn't give me money.
Right.
We don't you anymore because there's any other. We've come to our attention from the Southern Poverty Law Center that you are a racist or a bigot or a terrorist of some kind. Yes. Southern Poverty Law Center is the expert on anybody on anybody's lives, right? It's ridiculous, man. If they blame you, if they say that you're that, you can't ever get off their list, and their list holds weight with these Fortune 500, 100 companies. It's insanity.
Yeah, they're like, believe the Southern Poverty Law Center, but don't believe Rasmussen, which I like a Rasmussen poll. It's like, well, they're both one of the. Yeah. So they pick and choose when it's convenient.
Because they want to be on the right side of history, right? They want to be on the history that's written. Oh yeah, we took to the streets and we took care of our brethren, all of our LGBTQIA, LMNOP brethren. We want you to feel welcome and wanted.
And they hate them more than anybody else.
They hate them more than anybody else. J-Dub is not J-Dub. Jay Bishop, it's enough for you to go crazy over if you allow yourself. It's enough to go crazy.
Yeah, well, that's why I need to take a break from YouTube, honestly, and just like I was at the gym, like I told you earlier, I'm getting out in a little bit, and out in the real world. I mean, it's not as crazy as it is in these YouTube spaces, but
you're right. You're absolutely right. I always take a break as well all the time because you'll lose your street to deal with all this hyperbole and these hyperbolic personalities who make you think that this is reality because they're always
constant,
always up here and never mellow, never
like every white person you pass by in the grocery stores singing the N-word in their head.
It's secretly trying to destroy your lives. It's secretly trying
to black person. Yeah, they hate you. They think you're a mayonnaise monster.
Yeah. Every black person secretly hates you. Thinks you're a mayonnaise monster. Wants to love you. It's insane.
It is insane, man. Yeah, I do. I come from a very blended family, so I grew up around good people all around, so can't nobody tell me any different. But hey, I was going to ask you, those books you were talking about, can you post those in the chat?
Let me do that. Let me put it
so
in.
I can buy them.
Sure. Let me look it up, and I can post a link to Amazon. Let's see.
Okay. Oh, I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I'll burn that bridge when I get there. Guys, because my computer, my wireless keyboard, I need a new one. I'll burn that bridge when I get there. When I get to it.
I just finished Chariots of the Gods, Eric Von Daniken.
Yeah. How was that?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. This one's old, but I think when did he write this? In 1977, something like that. But I mean, it's good because I'm kind of I've been into all that kind of stuff, ancient archaeology, anthropology, and all that. So but I'd like to read those books you're talking about.
Well, another one, like I said, about language and instinct by Steven Pinker, and then there's another one called "Who We Are and How We Got Here." Ancient DNA, New Science.
Yeah, that's the one I want to read. That
by David Reich or David Rich or however you pronounce his last name. just keeping the mind sharp. Now, how do I copy it?
Yeah, I'll read that, and then we can come back and discuss it and do a nerd book club.
Oh man, that would be great. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, we could everybody get on board, read the book, pick a book, read the book, and come and lambast it, or celebrate it. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, celebrate or lambast. I'm a fan of lambasting things.
I learned that word from you.
Ilk, you did.
What's some other words from blacks? Lambast, ilk, capitulates. What are some other ones? Come on, chat. There's some other good words that you use a lot.
I do use lambast, ilk, capitulate, avail.
Ilk, capitulate, avail.
Yeah.
Oh God, there's another one, but I can't remember. I'll have to. But I wanted to let you know. Thank you so much for letting me come up. I let my guard down a little bit. I'm usually very shy. I don't have friends. Yeah, for me, this is the first time I've ever. It's awesome.
Man, I'm glad. I'm glad you came up. You can come up anytime you'd like. And I also made you a mod in the chat, so I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Hold on. I'm trying to get you this other one. The language instinct. So I put the other one in the chat, the first link in the chat. Okay. And now I'm trying to get you the language instinct by Steven Pinker. Now
you didn't have to do all that. I appreciate it. You could have wrote it in there. No, but I appreciate it.
No worries. It's just easier to get this link out. It's one click.
Yeah.
And I can and you can click on it or copy and paste it and in your browser. Okay, so that's the language instinct and and I'll burn that bridge when I get to it. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Blacks. Everybody, thank you. I'm going to head out.
Thanks, Jay, for coming up and keeping me company.
All right, no problem, man. Have a good one.
You too. All right, everybody. Look, that was Jay up here. I appreciate her coming up. She really helped make the hour and a half or hour and 45 minutes now that we've been up here go by a lot faster, and with her commentary, her repartee, and her ideas and comments on the topics at hand. Listen, guys, in a nutshell, we've got to keep our wits about us. We have to practice mental sobriety. And what does mental sobriety look like? It means reading books like this. Also, reading books like this. Hold on. I don't want this stuff to fall. Reading books like this from the enemy, quotations from Chairman Mao Zedong. Okay? Reading books like this helps you understand their thought processes, their egos, what they plan on doing, how they plan on doing it. It's amazing how so many people are caught off guard from this nonsense because they don't do something as simple as read. Or George Orwell's, this is the book I was talking about, a collection of essays from George Orwell. And that's the essay I was talking about specifically, the politics and the English language. See, politics and the English language, page 150. Well, you can't see that, but it's page 156 of this book. This book was cheap, man. It's paperback. It's used. Think about all the money you spend on Mickey D's, aka McDonald's, or Popeyes, or Raising Cane's. Okay, $20, $30 a pop every day sometimes. Can you think about that? Every day you spend $30 on fast food, on one meal. So imagine, or $15 per meal. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then you have a refrigerator full of goods, of perishable goods. So now you spent, $40, $50, $60 a day. And you've also collected groceries a month, spending $200, $300, $400, $800 in groceries. Your money's gone, but you can spend on Amazon $10 on a book like this, $14 on a book like this, and you can consistently reference it whenever you're in a debate, whenever you are trying to get an idea across. You can reference these people or Google it, whichever. I like to have the hard copy, proving that I read these books. And like, yes, OG do dirty facts. We do need to read more. Keeps you sharp. Keeps your vocabulary sharp. Like Jay was just telling us. There is a Rolodex of words I use. Some often, some not as often. And I'll be using, I switch it up from time to time. From time to time, I'll use some other words, but it isn't because they're big words. It's because the word is apropos. Hey, that's another one I use. Is apropos for the situation. It's appropriate. Using, why not be a master of the language you speak? I speak English. I'm from an English-speaking country. I was born here. Any other language would be a secondary language for me. And perhaps I could learn that language as well. But for the most part, I am learning and have learned to speak my language, my native language, with a commanding presence, with confidence, speaking the King's English. And of course, we can play semantics. It's not truly the King's English because we haven't spoken the King's English since after 1776, etc. No, Jay Bishop digressed. He uses it so incorrectly when he says, "I digress. My mic is muted." He's saying it as if he's finishing a thought. But when you use the term digress in a sentence structure, you say, "I digress." You're saying, "I have moved the topic and I need to get back to the topic at hand." So I'm talking about this. I've gone into some sort of repartee. Let's say, I'm talking about homosexuality, and then I end up digressing into transsexualism. While it's adjacent, it isn't the topic. So then I would use the term "I digress" and then get back to the topic. And he says it so incorrectly, but it's become his trademark and it's funny. So whatever gets you the views, I guess. But we need to keep our mental sobriety, folks, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and germs, or gents, or gang. We need to keep our mental sobriety. Too many of us avail ourselves to nonsensical commentary or the dick and pussy conversations. We just got to get out of that and start paying attention to what's going on around us and trying to find ways to combat that. Albeit the best way to combat it is to keep your mental sobriety. Reading those books, understanding the language, read them and reread them, find people who have read them and get their ideas on them. Mental agility is a thing, man. You got to work that muscle. Your mind's a muscle. Your brain's a muscle, stretching it out. You don't want to smooth the brain. You want to have a well-grooved brain. The more grooves you have in that brain, more memories, more things you know. Period. And take care of your children if you have any. Take care of your family. Keep the wiles of the devil away from them, aka the world, away from them for as long as possible. They'll have plenty of time to put themselves waist deep in it. Haven't we all? Haven't we all been in this world in some shape or form or fashion? taking chances and risks, dating. If you're a woman dating a man you shouldn't have. If you're a dude dating a woman you shouldn't have. Going to that party your parents warned you not to go to. Sneaking out of school and going to the beach or going downtown, whatever, going to your girlfriend or boyfriend's house and having sex because, the hormones are jumping and popping and it's hard for you to resist them. You have children, when they get to that age, will have plenty of time. Well, let's let them be children. World, stop blaming everything on parents who do what they're supposed to do and blame it on some of these artists who are out here trying to do everything they can and their cronies doing everything they can to usurp your power. Fight back. Don't allow these people to rule you. They can't. They have no power. Period. The only power they have is that you give. And we do not give our power to cronies, to sycophants, to enablers, to insane people. We do not give our power to them. There's an excerpt from this book that I wanted to read to you, I think. And let me see if I can find it, because it was really telling. Page 156. Let's get there. Okay. Because it talks about hold on. I know I underlined it. So is a mass of lies. Okay, here we go. Here it is. And this is page 167. It says, in our age, there is no such thing as keeping out of politics, in quotations. All issues are political issues, and politics itself is a mass of lies, evasions, folly, hatred, and schizophrenia. When the general atmosphere is bad, language must suffer. I should expect to find this is a guess, which I have not sufficient knowledge to verify, that the German, Russian, and Italian languages have all deteriorated in the last 10 or 15 years, or in our case, 50, 60 years from the date that this was written, as a result of dictatorship. But if thought corrupts language, language can also corrupt thought. A bad usage can spread by tradition and imitation, even among people who should and do know better. Okay, and that brief paragraph written by George Orwell, he says plenty. He says a lot. And what he's saying is the English language, the languages of the world have been bastardized. And everything is political, especially in today's day. You can't get away from it. It's always going to be a part of your psyche and everything that you do, especially if it's in a public forum. And then the kicker here is those of us who know better bastardized terminology as well. Remember I made reference to the word gay. I also made reference to the rainbow. Okay. I also, or using, I digress, my mic is muted out of context. Or what's another thing? Using the word ignorant wrong. You ignorant, using it as if it means you're stupid, versus meaning I'm ignorant of an idea. I'm ignorant of the truth, I need to know. Ignorant does not denote stupidity, but in many languages, in many English pidgins, the term or word ignorant has been co-opted and then bastardized and made to mean stupid. That's on a small scale. But what about when we go bigger? Me Too-isms. Okay. Or what's the term? What's the hot term in Congress for the last 5 years? Inclusion, equity, and inclusion. Put your thinking caps on, ladies and gents. It's right before you. The lies are there. If you understand the English language, knowing definitions of words, you don't have to know every word. You don't have to be able to define every word. But the mark of an intelligent person is to be able to find the answer, to think critically. Think critically. Mental agility, mental sobriety. Be critical of everything. Who said it? Well, the last person I know who said it was a president. What is this president's name? Why can't I think right now? Because I'm tired. I have jiu-jitsu brain right now. This morning we trained 90 minutes of jiu-jitsu on a Saturday, which I usually don't do. We did King of the Mat. So 90 minutes of that. So I'm just a little tired. But Ronald Reagan said, believe none of what you see. Believe none of what you hear and 20% of what you see. Okay? If you can't verify it, it's not true. Even if it is, it's not true. You got to be able to verify this. It's easy to verify things, but you have to take with a grain of salt what people tell you, especially politicians, and especially those who claim to be in your best interest. If you can't look it up yourself, then be wary. I'll leave you guys with this because we're about to hit the 2-hour mark, and I am a father and a husband. I'll leave you with this. A Christian tenet. Okay. Do unto others as you would them do unto you. Or if your enemy if your enemy hungers, feed him. If he thirsts, give him drink. For in so doing, you're heaping coals of fire upon his head. Or the heart of man is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. As a Christian man, I know that I'm fallible and my soul is rotten to the core. I'm not perfect, as we are all imperfect. But as a Christian man, I know that I have a higher power that will absolve me of it all as long as I submit to it, and that's Jesus Christ. And I wouldn't be a Christian if I didn't invite you all to read your word. Read your word and understand that nobody's perfect, but forgiveness is paramount, it's tantamount. And so it's a tenet of Christianity, but also allowing God to work in your heart is even more necessary. So read your word, my friends. Okay, forgive whenever possible. Don't be a fool, though. Don't allow these people back in your lives. Keep the faith. Read a lot. Okay, read a lot. Try and get original copies of books if you can. so you can make sure they haven't changed it. And I love you all. OG Do Dirty said, some people just don't know the meaning of words. If I don't know, I ask what the word means so I can have an understanding. And OG Do Dirty, that's what makes you intelligent, sir. That's what makes you a genius in my book. You don't have to know everything. Again, I've said it so many times. You don't have to know everything, but finding the answer is the mark of someone who is intelligent. Thinking critically is the mark of somebody who is intelligent, period. So, with that being said, my wife beckons, my children beckon, and I appreciate you guys coming out here and listening to me rant for 2 hours. I'll do this more often. You know, late nights is pretty hard for me. Got children and young children, you know, under the age of 15 children. So I thank you for wasting your time here with me. So with that being said, you guys have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'm out. See you later.